Hello, welcome to the Fusion Artist Studio. My name is Ed Breen, and each week we play host to an artist in Marion or Grant County, talk about the work that they're doing, talk about the reason for what they're doing, talk about the community that they are working in, and what they can do for the community, and vice versa. We try to make these as conversational as possible. We want you to enjoy and to learn from them. And our guest today is Barb Dixon. Do you go by Barb or Barbara? Which do you prefer?
I prefer Barbara, but I'm fine with Barb.
We will call you Barbara.
Okay, thank you.
We are here at the Marion Public Library in the board meeting room. And tell me why we're at the library.
Well, this is where I have my full-time job. I'm the head of the reference department here, and it's fun. It's a great place to work. I started here in January. And have just absolutely loved it ever since.
Prior to that, you were in
Upland
Library.
I was the director over there for almost 16 years, yes.
And what is the fun of what you're doing here?
One, I get to see a lot of new books.
There are a few of us who understand and appreciate that.
I've always been an avid reader. But it's also the people. You get to interact with people a lot and see what they like, what they don't like. I don't know. And I'm also in charge of the adult programming, which has kind of gone downhill with COVID.
Well, everything has suffered, yeah.
Yes.
And use of the library and the interactive
this
element of the library has gone away for a while.
Yeah. So
talk about the reference portion of this for a minute. Today, when we have a question, we say, "Hey, Google."
Yeah.
And some machine says, "What can I do for you?" Tell me what that's done to the role of the reference librarian.
By asking me for help, any task or question you can think of, there's a good chance I can help you.
This is too good not to use. I said, "Hey, Google," and she responded. She wants to know what she can do for me. There, I
That's
rest
funny.
my case. Talk
Glad
about
I can make you laugh.
Do you suppose she'll stay quiet? This is a library. She's supposed to keep her mouth shut. Okay, let's talk about reference in this world.
A lot of the reference books have been kind of outdated, I guess. People don't use encyclopedias and a lot of the book reference anymore. However, there are still enough people that either do not have access to the internet or really need something out of. Some books aren't going to be outdated. I mean, your history stuff is going to stay the same. Sometimes our interpretation of it has changed over the years, but the actual facts of what happened are still there. So we can still help people with certain things, but sometimes we just have to learn how to help them find things even on the internet. And we do have a lot of ebook resources also, which are able to be updated a little bit more often than a print resource.
Has the use of reference shifted to an older generation, younger, or has it remained constant?
I think it's pretty much remained constant.
Okay, that's reassuring. Yeah. Okay, but that's your day job.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your avocation, the other part of your life, your art.
Yes.
Three-dimensional.
Mostly, yes.
Whimsical, a fair description?
Yeah.
Talk about it.
And I actually, if I had remembered that I was doing this today, I would have brought in some examples. Most of what I do is small insect sculptures out of beads and wire. And these are not necessarily realistic insects. They are just, I see beads or sometimes found objects. I did one, I called it a spark hopper, because I used a spark plug and made it into kind of a grasshopper type thing.
I met that one when I left a bar one night.
I like using found objects as well as beads, but just whatever. I see things and they just become something totally different in my head. It's like a broken zipper pull will often become the head of an insect. Things like that. I mean,
So do you have a biological interest in insects? I mean, did you enjoy that? Did you enjoy insects when you were a kid?
Still don't, but they're fun to make, and they just, I don't know. I'm one of those people, throw a bunch of stuff in the trash, and I'm like, oh no, don't throw that away. I can use that.
That's a head or that's a leg or
Yes,
whatever. Okay. Do other people understand what you're doing?
I
Or
think
do they
so.
smile politely and walk away?
Well, I think both. Some people look at, ew, it's a bug, but I mean, it's something I do for fun and relaxation. So,
Is there a market? Do you sell them?
Some, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And do you sell them to anybody, or does it have to be someone who will provide a good home?
Honestly, the people that ask about them, that really want them, I think they'll provide a good home.
They will provide
Yes,
a good home.
yeah.
Okay. You sell them at shows? I mean, do you participate professionally in the craft shows and art shows?
I don't have time.
Okay.
Wish I could, but yeah, that's just, I work full time and going to shows just isn't an option right now.
How long have you been doing this?
Well, I first started making things when I was really little. The insect sculptures, probably about 7 or 8 years now.
And what was the first one? Why?
Just because I saw some stuff and thought it looked like it would make a neat bug.
If you bring them all together with a little glue.
Oh, I
it'll
don't
have
use, it's no glue.
No
It's
glue.
all just wire, and I wrap it and
Oh,
do, everything is
okay.
held just with the wire.
Okay, which is part of the challenge of it.
Mhm,
To-
yeah.
And almost any found object can become
Just
an
about.
anatomical part of a
Mhm.
bug.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you sometimes feel strange the things that you're picking up and taking home?
Yeah. I've used small light bulbs for lightning bugs. Like I said, zipper pulls become heads generally.
Okay.
I've used the tip from an ink pen that's been thrown away, take that off and use that as a head. I found a really neat metal ink pen once that was broken, and I used the metal part of the body as the back end of a praying
And they're
mantis.
no more than 2-3 inches.
Between 1 inch to 6 inches. I think
Oh, you've
6
got some
inches.
6 inches.
Yeah,
ones.
just a few, not very many. But
Okay.
I have never gone bigger than that, though.
Do you someday will you be overtaken and create a 10-footer?
Well, I don't know about that, but I would love to try and get some maybe like copper tubing and some other found objects bigger and try something large someday. But right now, I wouldn't even have room to try that.
Now, do they all have the appropriate number of insect legs and that kind of thing?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And
I've also done spiders, but I really don't like spiders.
no reason to make yourself miserable.
Yes.
How many of them have you made?
Oh, jeez. At a guess, probably at least 100, maybe
Okay.
more.
How many of them do you have that you retain?
Right now, probably a couple dozen.
You have personal favorites?
Probably the dragonflies I've done, and I don't even have any dragonflies. Those always sell. People love the dragonflies.
How about praying mantis?
I've only done a couple of those. Those are a little bit harder.
They're sinister.
I love praying mantises, except
Oh,
for
I do
the
too.
except for the fact that they're kind of cannibalistic, but
Let's not get into their lifestyle, okay? Let's talk about your involvement. You're a member of the Fusion Arts Alliance.
yes, sir.
Tell me why.
Because I feel like art is important to life. God is the best artist out there. He created everything, and He gave me this gift, and I feel like I want to use it and I want to share it with others.
And tell me how the Arts Alliance has helped you identify with other artists in the community.
One, it's helped me get to know other artists, and those artists have helped me kind of build up my self-esteem as far as my art goes. I have issues with that, thinking that, oh, I'm not really very good, and the other artists are really great about coming alongside and saying, yes, you have something unique here, and
Good.
that helps so much, just to have that community spirit.
Now, you were at the Upland Library for quite a few years. Upland, because of Taylor University, has a sort of creative climate in the community. Do you still live in Upland, or you live in Marion?
Oh, I live outside of Jonesboro.
So that you didn't change location when you changed
No.
job. Talk about what the Fusion Arts Alliance can do for community life beyond one artist. What's the value of it to all of us?
I think it's just a matter, honestly, the support you get, and knowing that there are other artists out there and they can help you connect with, if you want a venue to show your art, or other artists that can maybe come alongside and help you grow your art, and teach you a little bit, things like that.
How about the broader community? Are we as a community, Grant County, receptive to creative people and the arts and artists?
I think so overall. And art is, to me, just such a part of life. It feeds our soul. And without art, I think we all just kind of die a little bit inside. We need that, if not an expression of art that we do ourselves, at least be able to appreciate the art that other people do, so that it just feeds something inside of us.
If you could speak to the larger community, and from your perspective as both a librarian and as a creative person, and deliver a message to them on what you think would be useful for the growth of Marion artistically, what would you tell them?
Ooh. That's a tough one. I'd say if you know someone that's an artist, support them in any way you can, whether that's physically, emotionally, just however. And if you know of something that's going on, try to lend your support to that. And just be aware of your surroundings. Notice the beauty, notice the art around you. It's out there. It's all over the place.
Just got to look for it.
Yeah.
Barb Dixon, thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Keep doing what. And do you name your little creatures?
Sometimes. I haven't given all of them names, but some of them
But some
have.
of them.
Yes.
Well, that's what I thought probably would be the case.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in today. We will be back again next week with another artist, another perspective on life in the creative world of Marion and Grant County.